The billionaire arrived home unannounced and found his son crying on the ground with the maid. Raphael Justine had opened his gate with his own remote, no security call, no warning, no text to his wife, because he wanted one quiet hour at home, just 1 hour where he could feel like a normal father. But the moment his car rolled into the driveway, he knew something was wrong. The house lights were on, the yard was clean, the fountain was running, yet the place felt too quiet, like everyone was holding their breath. Even the air smelled strange, strong cleaning spray mixed with something bitter like medicine. Raphael stepped out, holding his keys tight, listening. Then he heard it, a small sound, a child crying but trying to hide it. He walked faster, past the glass doors, past the white pillars, calling, "Ethan!" But his voice came out low, like he was afraid to wake up something sleeping in his own home. When he reached the yard, his feet stopped by themselves. His son was on the ground near the edge of the fountain, knees bent, one hand pressed to his elbow, his face wet with tears and dirt, his mouth open like he was begging for help, but the words would not come out right. And beside him, on her knees, was Cynthia, the maid. Her uniform was stained with grass, her hands were shaking, and she kept her body between the boy and the open back door, like she was shielding him from something inside the house. She was speaking to Ethan in a soft voice, one hand holding his wrist gently, the other supporting his shoulder, like she was trying to keep him from falling apart. Raphael's stomach turned. He rushed forward, anger and fear mixing inside him. "What did you do?" he shouted, because that is what a scared father says when he does not know where to put his pain. Cynthia looked up at him, and Raphael expected excuses, panic, maybe lies. Instead, she said something that made his blood run cold. "Sir, please, pick him up, and do not ask questions out here, not now, because she is watching." Raphael blinked. "Who is watching?" Cynthia's eyes moved toward the upstairs window for a half-second, then back to Raphael, her voice almost breaking. "Your wife's guest," she said. "She told the boy to stop crying. She told him he deserved it, and when I tried to help him, she said if you come out here and see me near him, you will think I hurt him." Raphael looked down at Ethan, and Ethan grabbed Cynthia's sleeve with a tight fist, like she was the only safe thing left in the world. Ethan's lips shook, and he whispered, "Daddy, please, don't let them send Cynthia away." Raphael felt his throat close, because in that one sentence he heard it clearly. This was not just a fall. This was not just a child getting hurt. This was a trap, and the trap was meant to take the only person who had been kind to his son and leave Ethan alone with the people who scared him. Raphael lifted Ethan into his arms, and Ethan cried into his chest, shaking hard. Raphael looked at Cynthia again, her face full of fear, not for herself alone, but for his child. Then he asked, in a low voice that sounded nothing like the billionaire everyone feared. "Cynthia," he said, "tell me the truth. What happened to my son, and why does it feel like my own house is not safe anymore?"
Raphael carried Ethan through the back door, slow and careful, because the boy kept crying and clutching his knee. Ethan's face was wet, his breath coming in short pulls. One hand stayed locked on Cynthia's sleeve until they reached the kitchen. Then he held Raphael's shirt like it was a rope. "Stay close," Raphael told Cynthia, low. "Do not leave him." Cynthia nodded. Her orange uniform was stained with grass. Her eyes kept moving toward the hallway as if she expected someone to step in at any second. The kitchen smelled sharp, strong cleaning spray, and something bitter. The counters looked scrubbed too hard, too perfect. He set Ethan on a chair and knelt. "Look at me, son," he said. "Where does it hurt?" Ethan pointed at his elbow, then his knee. His elbow had a scrape. Raphael took a clean cloth and pressed it gently. Ethan winced and bit his lip. "I'm sorry," Raphael whispered, not even sure what he was sorry for yet. Cynthia opened the first aid box with shaking fingers. Raphael saw marks on her wrist, red lines shaped like a hand. Not a bruise from work, a grip. Raphael's mouth went dry. "Who did that?" he asked. Before Cynthia could answer, a laugh drifted in from the hall, light and careless. A woman said, "Relax, Lauren. Kids fall all the time." Raphael rose, placing himself between Ethan and the doorway. Lauren walked in first, neat and calm on the outside, eyes sharp on the inside. Behind her came Vanessa Cole, carrying a handbag and a smile that looked forced. Lauren froze when she saw Raphael. "You did not tell me you were coming home," she said. "I came home," Raphael replied. "I found Ethan on the ground." Lauren's eyes moved to Cynthia, then back to Raphael. "Ethan, what happened?" she asked, but her voice sounded like a test. Ethan looked down, his hands twisting together. He did not answer. Vanessa stepped closer, her heels clicking. "Oh my God," she said. "Poor baby. Cynthia, were you even watching him?" Cynthia stayed silent. Her lips trembled. Raphael looked at Vanessa. "Step back," he said. "Excuse me?" "Step back from my child," Raphael repeated. Lauren's calm cracked. "Raphael, stop it. Vanessa is our guest." Raphael kept his eyes on Vanessa. "Cynthia told me someone was watching. Was she talking about you?" Vanessa let out a small sigh, like she was tired of the truth. "I went out to the yard," she said. "Ethan was running. Cynthia was right there. Then he slipped, and she grabbed him hard. He cried, and she did not let go." Ethan shook his head fast. "No," he whispered, voice broken. "No." Lauren stepped closer to Raphael and lowered her voice. "We handle staff issues privately," she said. "Do not make a scene." Raphael stared at her. "My son was crying on stone," he said. "This is already a scene." Vanessa turned her head toward Cynthia, smile returning. "See," she said, "she is scared because she knows." Cynthia's tears finally dropped. She wiped them fast. "Sir," she said, voice small, "I did not hurt him. I protected him." Lauren snapped, "Cynthia, enough." At that one word, Ethan flinched so hard his chair scraped the floor. He grabbed Raphael's arm tight. Raphael looked at his son's face, then at Lauren. "Why did he flinch at your voice?" he asked, slow. Lauren forced a laugh. "He is upset," she said. "Do not twist things." Ethan's lips shook. He leaned toward Raphael and whispered, "Daddy, please." "Please what?" Raphael asked. Ethan stared at Vanessa, then looked away. "Please don't let her stay." He barely loud enough to hear. Vanessa's smile fell for a blink, then came back. "He is confused," she said. "He fell. He is embarrassed." Cynthia lifted her wrist. "Sir," she said, "please look." Raphael looked again at the marks, fingerprints, fresh. Lauren's eyes flashed. "Put your arm down," she ordered. Ethan started to cry again, quiet, like he was trying not to get in trouble for it. Raphael took one step back, then another, as if he needed space to think. His voice came out firm, heavy. "Nobody moves. Cynthia, lock the kitchen door." Cynthia turned the lock. Lauren's face changed. "Raphael, what are you doing?" Raphael pulled out his phone. "I'm doing what I should have done before. I'm checking the cameras." Vanessa's smile stayed, but her fingers tightened around her bag. Raphael opened the security app. The yard view loaded, then froze, then went black. On the screen, a message appeared, simple and cruel, no signal. Raphael stared at it, then lifted his eyes to Vanessa. His voice stayed calm, and in that moment he understood. Someone had planned this.
Raphael stared at the message on his phone. No signal. The cameras in this house never failed like this. He tapped the front gate, black. The hallway, black. The yard, black. Only the kitchen view worked because it was inside the room with them. Lauren tried to keep her voice calm. "Maybe the internet is down." "Someone cut it," Raphael said. Ethan sat on the chair, shaking, knee swelling, elbow scraped. Cynthia stood close but careful, like she knew one wrong move could ruin her. Vanessa sighed. "Raphael, kids fall." Raphael faced her. "Show me your phone." Vanessa laughed. "Why?" "Because my cameras died the moment I arrived," Raphael said. "Because my son was crying on the ground. Give me the phone." Lauren stepped in. You cannot demand that. She is a guest. Raphael looked at Ethan. Our son is not a guest. Vanessa bent toward Ethan with a soft voice that sounded fake. Tell your dad you slipped, that is all. Cynthia spoke quietly. Please do not push him. Lauren snapped. Cynthia, stop. You are staff. Ethan jerked and began to cry again, like he was scared of that tone. Raphael walked to the pantry and opened the metal panel for the security lines. 2 wires were cut clean, not pulled, cut. He held them up. This is not poor signal. Lauren's face tightened. Who would do that? She asked, but her eyes stayed on Cynthia. Vanessa lifted her hands. This is insane. I did nothing. Raphael stepped closer. Only a few people were inside today. My wife, my son, my maid, and you. Lauren raised her chin. Stop accusing my friend. You are embarrassing me. Lauren, Raphael said, Ethan is scared, and he is not scared of Cynthia. Lauren turned to Ethan. Tell your father you fell. Ethan shook his head. Tears ran down. No. Raphael crouched. Son, tell me. Nobody will punish you. Ethan pointed at Vanessa without looking straight at her. She grabbed me, he whispered. She said I ruin everything. Vanessa's smile slipped. I told him to toughen up, she snapped, then tried to soften it. He is upset. Raphael turned to Cynthia. Start from the beginning. Cynthia's voice trembled. Ethan was by the fountain, feeding the fish, she said. Mrs. Lauren went upstairs. Miss Vanessa came out, said she had a game. Ethan said no. She grabbed his arm, hard. He pulled back, slipped on the wet stone, and fell. When he cried, she called him weak. Ethan added, she said, Daddy will never choose me. Raphael looked at Cynthia's wrist. And this? Cynthia lifted it, red marks clear. When I ran to him, I pushed her hand away, she said. She grabbed me and said if I speak, she will make you think I hurt your son. Then she went inside. Lauren's voice shook. She is lying. Cynthia wants trouble. Raphael stood. His hands trembled, not from fear, from hurt. You heard your child, he said. Your first move was to protect Vanessa. Lauren's eyes filled with tears. People watch us, she said. One scandal and everything falls. Raphael replied, Ethan already fell. Vanessa's face turned hard. Fine, believe the maid. Raphael pointed to the front door. Leave, now. Vanessa walked fast, heels striking the floor like a threat. Lauren followed her, calling her name. The front door slammed. Silence filled the house. Ethan slid off the chair and pressed into Cynthia's side. Cynthia held him gently. Raphael watched, and the truth hit him. His son trusted the maid more than his own mother. Ethan looked up at Raphael. Daddy, he whispered, will Mommy send Cynthia away? Raphael stared at the doorway where Lauren had gone, and he knew the next fight would be inside his marriage. No, he said, not while I am here. A minute later, Raphael's phone buzzed. It was the head of security. Sir, the man said, a black SUV just drove out. The driver said you approved it. I did not, Raphael said, and ended the call. He looked at the cut wires again. Whoever did this knew the system and knew how to leave before questions started. Lauren came back alone. Her face was pale, her eyes sharp. Vanessa says Cynthia attacked her, she said. Cynthia pushed Ethan. Cynthia stepped back, silent, like she had expected the lie. Raphael kept his voice flat. You were not outside, he said. You did not see anything. Lauren lifted her phone. I can call the police or my lawyer. Either way, Cynthia leaves tonight. Ethan grabbed Cynthia's hand and cried, No. Raphael moved in front of them. Call who you want, he said. First we take Ethan to a doctor, then we bring in security, and we find out who cut my cameras.
Raphael stopped arguing. He lifted Ethan into his arms and carried him out through the side door, away from the front hall where the family portraits watched like judges. Cynthia followed with a small bag, first aid, water, a clean cloth. Lauren walked behind them, silent but tense. In the garage, Raphael said to Cynthia, "Sit in front with him." He looked at Lauren. "You sit in the back, and you keep quiet." Lauren opened her mouth, then closed it and got in. The drive to the clinic felt too long. Ethan's head rested on Cynthia's shoulder. Cynthia kept one hand on his knee, not pressing, just letting him feel she was there. Raphael drove with both hands tight on the wheel. He did not turn on music. He kept hearing Ethan's words, "Daddy will never choose me." At the clinic, a nurse saw Ethan's tears and moved fast. Soon they were in a small room with white walls and a cold smell. A doctor checked Ethan's knee, elbow, and head. The knee was swollen, but nothing was broken. The doctor said Ethan needed rest, ice, and care, and he asked, "How did he fall?" Raphael said he slipped near a fountain. Lauren gave a small nod, like she needed the story to stay simple. Cynthia stayed quiet, hands folded, fingers shaking. When the doctor left, Raphael leaned close to Ethan. "Tell me the truth again," he whispered. "I will believe you." Ethan looked at his mother, then at Cynthia, then at Raphael. "She pulled me," he said. "She said I was a problem." Lauren turned her face away. Her eyes filled, but she wiped them fast. Raphael stepped into the hallway and called his head of security, Mr. Hale. "Come to the house," he said. "Bring your laptop and the backup recorder." Mr. Hale paused. "Sir, the backup recorder is missing." Raphael's throat went dry. "Missing how?" "It is not in the safe," Mr. Hale said. "The safe code was used today." Raphael ended the call. Someone had not only cut the cameras, they had taken the one thing that could prove it. Back in the room, Raphael looked at Lauren. "Who knows the safe code?" he asked. Lauren lifted her chin. "You, me, and security." "And Vanessa," Raphael said, "because you share everything with her." Lauren's voice rose. "Do not blame me for your fear." Raphael stayed calm. "Our son was hurt, and your friend was here." Lauren stood up. "You cannot prove that." Cynthia spoke, soft. "Sir, there may be one proof." Raphael turned. "What proof?" "The gardener," Cynthia said. "He was near the side gate. He saw the black SUV. He may have seen who drove it." Lauren snapped. "Stop talking." Ethan cried, "Mommy, stop." The room went quiet. Lauren looked at Ethan, and shame showed on her face for 1 second. She sat down and covered her mouth. Raphael took a breath. "We go home," he said. "No more threats." Back at the mansion, Mr. Hale and 2 guards waited. The yard looked calm, like nothing had happened. That calm made Raphael feel sick. Mr. Hale led them to the security room. The main screens were still blank, but a log showed the time the system went down and the time the safe was opened. The safe code was entered at 2:14 p.m., Mrs. Justin's code. Lauren went pale. "That is not possible." Raphael looked at the phone in her hand. "Where was your phone?" he asked. "In my purse," she said. "Go get it," Raphael said. Lauren ran upstairs and returned with her purse. She pulled out her phone. The call history showed a long call at 2:12 p.m. with Vanessa. Raphael turned the phone toward Lauren. "While Ethan was outside, you were talking to her." Lauren's lips shook. "She called me. She said Ethan was acting out." Raphael asked, "Did you give her your code?" Lauren whispered, "No." Mr. Hale cleared his throat. "Sir, there is more." He played a short audio clip from the kitchen camera, the only one still working. It caught Vanessa's low voice, saying, "If he checks the cameras, your maid is done." Lauren covered her ears. Cynthia's face went white. Ethan grabbed Raphael's sleeve. Raphael looked at Cynthia. "Did she ever touch you before today?" he asked. Cynthia shook her head. "She only spoke," she said. "She said I should know my place." Lauren's shoulders dropped. Her thumbs were still on her phone, typing. Raphael said, "Stop. No more calls right now." Raphael stared at the speaker. His voice broke. She planned this. A guard rushed in from the front gate. "Sir," he said, "there is a woman outside. She is saying your maid attacked her, and she came with police."
The guard's words landed hard. She came with police. Ethan clutched Raphael's sleeve. Cynthia stood still, hands shaking. Lauren's face went pale. Raphael stepped in front of them. "No one talks alone," he said. "Mr. Hale, bring them to the sitting room. Record everything." 2 officers entered with Vanessa behind them. Vanessa held her wrist out. "That maid attacked me," she said. "She grabbed me when I tried to stop her from hurting the boy." Officer Grant faced Raphael. "Sir, we got a complaint." Raphael kept his voice calm. "My son was hurt today," he said. "Cynthia helped him. The woman behind you scared him." Vanessa snapped. "He's rich. He can flip any story." Ethan's voice came out small. "Daddy, she pulled me." Lauren whispered, "Ethan, stop." Raphael turned to Lauren. "Don't," he said. Lauren went quiet. Raphael crouched by Ethan. "Tell them," he said. Ethan pointed at Vanessa. "She grabbed my arm. She said, 'I ruin everything.' I tried to run. I slipped. When I cried, she laughed. Cynthia ran to me. Vanessa grabbed Cynthia's wrist and said, 'Nobody will believe her.'" Vanessa's face tightened. "He's lying." Raphael lifted Cynthia's wrist to show the fresh red marks. Officer Grant looked at Vanessa. "Did you touch her?" Vanessa shrugged. "She's staff. She's dramatic." Raphael stood. "Our cameras went off," he said. "The wires were cut." Mr. Hale rolled in a small screen and a clear bag with the cut wires. Raphael set the bag on the table. "Cut clean," he said. "Not an accident." Officer Grant asked, "Do you have proof?" Raphael nodded. "Audio." Mr. Hale played play. Vanessa's voice filled the room. "If he checks the cameras, your maid is done." Vanessa shook her head. "That could be anyone." Raphael stared at her. "It's you," he said, "and there's more." He called out, "Mr. Lewis?" The gardener stepped forward, cap in his hands. "I saw Miss Vanessa by the side gate. She had a small cutting tool. I thought it was odd." Vanessa snapped, "You were lying for money." Mr. Lewis swallowed. "I'm not. I have a small phone camera on my shed. It points at the gate." Mr. Hale played the clip. Vanessa was on the video, bending by the panel, cutting, looking around, then walking fast to the SUV. The timestamp matched the log. Officer Grant nodded to his partner. "Ma'am, you need to come with us." Vanessa cried out, "Lauren, fix this. Tell them you gave me permission." Lauren's mouth opened, then closed. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Why?" she whispered. Vanessa hissed, "Because you were losing your son, because he ran to the maid." Ethan flinched and pressed into Cynthia's side. The officers led Vanessa out. She kept saying, "He fell, he fell." Officer Grant stayed in the room for a moment. "Sir, we need statements," he said. Raphael nodded and sat beside Ethan. Cynthia spoke slowly, choosing simple words, and Ethan repeated his truth without changing it. Lauren listened, hands trembling in her lap. Raphael's lawyer arrived and spoke with the officers in low voices. Mr. Hale confirmed the missing backup recorder and the safe log. Officer Grant looked at Vanessa. "Ma'am, you may also be a witness," he said. Lauren whispered, "Vanessa asked for my code last week. She said it was for a surprise gift for Raphael." She began to cry again. "I gave it to her. I didn't think," she said. When the front door shut, Lauren sank into a chair. "I didn't want to believe it," she said. Raphael sat across from her. "Ethan was hurt," he said, "and you chose your friend first." Lauren turned to Cynthia. "I'm sorry,"
she said. "I treated you like you didn't matter." Cynthia's eyes were wet. "I only tried to keep him safe," she whispered. Lauren looked at Ethan. "Baby." Ethan hesitated, then reached out. "Mummy, please don't shout at her again." Lauren nodded fast. "I won't, I promise." Raphael lifted Ethan carefully. "Let's get you to bed." In Ethan's room, Cynthia sat beside him. His breathing slowed. He held her fingers like a child holding a rope. Raphael stood at the foot of the bed. "Cynthia, I'm sorry I doubted you." Cynthia shook her head. "I understand fear," she whispered. Ethan looked up at Raphael. "Daddy, Cynthia makes me feel safe." Raphael nodded. "Then she stays, not as someone we use, but as someone we protect." Lauren stood at the door, tears still on her face. "If you let me, teach me how to be gentle again." Cynthia wiped her cheeks. "We can try," she said. Ethan reached for both women's hands, one in each. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Now it feels like home." Dear viewers, this story was not just about a billionaire, a mansion, or a maid. It was about a child who was crying in the only place that was meant to keep him safe. Sometimes the real danger is not outside, it is inside the house, inside the smile people wear, inside the way someone uses power to make truth look like a lie. Ethan fell on that ground, not only because the stone was wet, but because the people around him were not all kind. And Cynthia, the maid, did what many people would be too scared to do. She stood between a child and harm, even when she knew she could lose everything. Raphael learned something that day. Money can buy gates, cameras, guards, and big walls, but it cannot buy safety. It cannot buy love, and it cannot buy a child's trust. Trust is earned in small moments, in gentle hands, in someone staying when it is easier to walk away. Cynthia stayed. She did not run. She did not shout. She protected Ethan like he was her own, and because of that, the truth won. And maybe the biggest lesson is this. Sometimes the person the world calls small is the one holding the whole family together. Sometimes the person people ignore is the one saving lives quietly. And sometimes a parent does not change because of business or pride. They change because they finally see their child's tears and they decide no more. If this story touched your heart, please don't just watch and leave. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness still matters. Also, comment and tell us where you are watching from and what you learned from this story. If you want more emotional stories like this, type "more stories" and you will be the first to get the next one. Now, I want to ask you 3 questions. Answer them in the comments. If you were Raphael, what would you do after finding out the truth? Would you forgive your wife for trusting the wrong person? Do you think Cynthia should stay in that house, or should she leave and protect her peace? Have you ever seen a child stay silent because they were scared? And what do you think adults should do better? Thank you for watching, dear viewers. And remember, a safe home is not built with money. It is built with love, truth, and people who choose to stand up when it is hard.